Okay, so we've had a lot of word lately on new stuff going on with the Digimon and Pokemon franchises, which I thought was kind of interesting to have happening at the same time. Of course, we're used to Pokemon kind of moving on. They're moving on to the new game, which is Black and White. And they're stopping Diamond and Pearl, the anime, and presumably starting up what we're thinking will probably be Black and White, the anime, right? And then Digimon has their MMO coming out, and now they have a new anime series coming out.
Yes, Digimon Cross Wars.
Cross Wars.
Which makes me think terribly of cross-play. So I hope they're getting back to their roots, and it'll be about TK cross-dressing.
See, the problem is it makes me think of Cross Days, which is a visual novel sequel to School Days, and I just go, nice Pokeboat. Digiboat.
Nice Pokeboat?
Digiboat. Whatever.
I choose you, nice boat! That's a relic. You should look up Nice Boat, guys. See what you find.
You know a lot more about both of these franchises than me. I played like the original Pokemon and watched a few episodes, and I watched some of the first season of Digimon and never played any of it.
So you're this dude who's trying to collect all of these Pokemon to be the very best, some might even say.
Wow, okay.
To catch them is his real test.
So Digimon?
To train them is his call. Oh, Digimon.
Digital monsters?
That one has actually had a very weird history in the fact that the series have all had very different tones for the most part. The first series was, 8 kids that fall into this magical digital realm where they all have one... It's the opposite of Pokemon. Instead of collecting all of them, you have essentially one of them. Each person has one Digimon who is their best friend.
They're chosen, right? They're not just random kids.
Think like soul strangers. Like they have these soulmates that are essentially these Digimon that are reflective of their qualities as people. Surfers have crabs... The crab.
Yes, in Digimon there are characters who have crabs.
Yes, they have crabs for their Digipets and stuff. And then so the series actually takes the characters through evolving those Digimon through occasion or getting them so that they can go above and beyond the natural evolution. They go
to what end? What's the goal?
In the first one, there was, I think Devilmon was his name. He was just a very powerful Digimon that wanted to destroy the entire world. So they spend the first part of the series in the digital world, and then they're in the real world, and then they're back in the digital world. But then the sequel happens a couple years later, where the youngest characters are now the protagonists. It's the same song, second verse. Except that this time they learn the trick where they can merge.
To digital champions to save the digital world.
Where they can combine Digimon together.
You said song.
I know I did, apparently. So, and anyway, so the third series gets around and it's a completely different mythos where now suddenly it's very digital, as in the fact that these are kind of like it's a game and the things have come to life. And they're not just, some people think they're games, but some of them are real, and I kind of fell off the boat at that point slightly. But we've got the MMO, which was originally a free-to-play, I thought, but I think it's a subscription-based now.
Well, and did it originate somewhere else?
It was, I think it was a South Korean game that has been around for years.
As so many are.
I
think they've got like a Shin-chan one, too, don't they?
Have you heard the legislation about South Korean and MMO games? Out of coincidence, or something?
What about it?
That they are trying to combat addiction. They're doing blacklisted hours that you cannot use essentially the internet for that purpose. Wow. Like it's a legislation they're trying to pass through to combat like WoW in particular, where you pick like 3 hours out of the day that you cannot play. So from like 1 to 4 in the morning, if that's your slot, you cannot play WoW. I don't know if they shut off your... So can you pick a slot,
which is when you would normally sleep?
Yeah, but that is actually beneficial. That's the whole goal, is forcing you to sleep and do things, not to be up for 24 hours a day, gold grinding.
Well, you can only stay up for so long. I mean, staying awake for 24 hours is the equivalent of having, like, I forget how many drinks. It's bad. It's not good for you. Eventually you just fall asleep.
Yeah, so if you can't play WoW, if you can't play Digimon, the MMO, you better go to sleep.
Alright, so that's the Digimon stuff in a nutshell.
And...
What do we know about the anime so far? I think that an Image was released?
It's Cross Wars, and that's all we've got. It starts in July, which we've heard before that they were working on it, but we just got the penciled down date that it airs in July, so it'll be in this summer season.
Cool. I heard something on the grapevine that it was more classic style too, in terms of its visual style at least.
That would be good. I would enjoy that. Things were adorable.
It's fascinating to me, actually, because I was looking at the first footage of the Pokemon Black and White game, not the anime, obviously, and it looks like they were going into a slightly more, like, it's still cute, chibi, pixelated, whatever, but it's slightly more 3D. There's all these buildings and stuff.
The Pokemon, the first game footage that we're seeing coming out of Black and White, which is not a Michael Jackson reference. This is the singing Unscripted, thank you very much. And anyway, so they're going with a slightly three-dimensional, instead of being flat, entirely top-down, it seemed like the footage of him going around town that it was this just Manhattan, island with skyscrapers.
Yeah, and they were so big and black. I was kind of surprised, because I think of Pokemon as a very colorful franchise, even when it was actually black and white pixels.
Maybe that's the plot. Team Rocket sucked all the color out of the world, so it's only black and white. And you, through your love of various Pokemon.
You give your Pokemon crayons
and tell them to scribble on the
all
world.
the buildings. And Jigglypuff, it must be the main character. No, we're making shit up. We don't know anything about it.
Oh god, Jigglypuff would be the most awesome main character.
Oh, I would like Jigglypuff.
I love Jigglypuff.
See, now my exposure to Pokemon and Digimon has been very minimal. I played the first Pokemon game, I watched a bit of the Digimon first season, and that's pretty much about it. But it seems to me like both of these things happening at the same time, especially with Digimon, which had more of a drop, I think, than Pokemon did in popularity. It seems to me
I don't think it ever reached the heights of popularity either.
That's true. But it seems to me that we're kind of having a bit of a resurgence here. Do you think Neopets is suddenly going to come back into style and all that stuff? Tamagotchi,
no. Would be my general instinct. I think Digimon never reached the same heights, and essentially it doesn't matter really what we think, it's just following trends in Japan. We can't say how popular Digimon got or did not get there in Japan, and we're just seeing kind of the afterflow of this, that the product exists. The South Korean MMO, as kind of terrible as it kind of seems, has been around for years now, and we're just seeing it now, probably because some company got the bright idea that it was dirt cheap to grab. They're like,
especially if they were going to be doing another anime, which would then essentially sell the MMO.
Yeah, which would make that value on that investment larger.
But what's popular in Japan can have a huge impact on what's popular. Like, look at the little Pokemon walker thing that they've got now.
Oh,
yeah, that came out in Japan first, and now, and that's exactly what the Tamagotchi was originally.
Well, that's the mechanic in Heart Gold, Soul Silver. They have a Poke Walker that comes with the game that you use to count your pets.
I wonder how they'll one up that. Maybe it'll be a plushie instead of a little clip-on. Maybe like a Furby.
Maybe it'll actually be a Pikachu that comes with a little Velcro strap that you tie to your arm.
It's a Pokemon. It's a Pikachu Furby that Velcros on your shoulder like a parrot. And occasionally it zaps you when you have it zaps you with a minor bolt of electricity when you haven't played Pokemon in 24 hours. Done. That's Pokemon Black and White.
And you heard it here first.
All right.
Done.